Hello and thank you for joining me. I'm your host, Young Morpheus Cage, and this is the Political Matrix. In this video, I wanted to talk to you guys about voting just in general. I know in this day and age, a lot of people push for the fact of always voting, and that's what we should do, especially people of color, because of how much they had to sacrifice to be able to get the vote, and how many others who maybe not been of color who were there in that fight to help get those rights. But I want to balance the idea of just everyone should vote versus the way Socrates felt about voting. Socrates believed that yes, we should have a very engaged population and we should vote. But I fear one of his biggest worries is what has happened instead. Socrates made the argument that the population should be an educated population when going into the ballot box. In this day and age, many people feel that they are educated. At least educated, they believe that they're educated on the issues. Sadly, that's not actually what's going on. I actually fear that there are far more people who are completely in the dark about many things that are going on. I read a tweet from a lady earlier today, which said, I don't know who Representative Karen Bass is. I'm from California, and I don't live under a rock. Well, if you're a politician from California, if you live in California and you have the head of the Congressional Black Caucus living in your state, and they've been an elected official for at least 15 years, you're not quite as on top or as engaged as you think that you are. But the problem is most people believe that they are completely engaged, and that's where the problem comes in. Socrates made the example of comparing, you have the doctor and you have the sweet maker. And while the doctor is there talking to the people, telling them, I have these goodies, I have cakes, I have all these wonderful things that you're going to enjoy. But the doctor, yeah, he might be able to give you some help, but you're going to be uncomfortable to see him. He's going to prick you, it's going to hurt, it's going to be uncomfortable, it may cost you money. And so he defines his choice, or that candidate defines their choice as the better option because they give you all the sweets and the goodies up front. And it does attract and trick and fool a lot of people, just like what you see in politics today. You see a lot of people who are saying a lot of words, but there's no content behind it. There's no substance. And the problem is when you don't have an engaged population, when you don't have an educated voter base, they don't know any better. And they will go and choose the sweet maker over the doctor who's better for them. It's the same thing with another analogy that he made as far as sailors. If you want your ship to be, sailed, and you want to have a staff which is adequate, you're going to go for a ship full of mariners over hiring a bunch of lawyers. It only makes sense that you go and get people who are the most qualified for the position. The problem with this day and age is a lot of times some of the people who look like mariners are not mariners, and they're not steering you anywhere. That is why Socrates believed that we have to have a very engaged voter base. He believed that voting is not only a responsibility or a right. He believed voting is a skill that you have to train. And how you train that skill is by acquiring knowledge. The kind of knowledge which you need to acquire, in my opinion, is, for one, the policies. Which policies do you support? You know, like we talked about in a previous video with Descartes, which beliefs are most core to you? Are you going to fight for those beliefs? Which beliefs have you said you care about, but when it really comes down to it, you don't really want to do actually anything for it? It just sounds good. Don't lie to yourself. If there are things which you've always told yourself you really care about and you don't, it's freeing to at least be honest with yourself. And I believe that a lot more people will respect you. I've said it myself. I don't like any kind of a racist, but I would rather a racist who lets me know right there to my face than the one that I always have to wonder about. I got a little off topic with that comment there, but you get where I'm going. We need to get more educated as a population, and we also need to find ways to educate those around us better so that we can help those around us develop the same kind of skill which we believe that we have. Or if we're not as skilled, we might need to be learning and educating ourselves more on things so that we can be properly prepared for, when it's our time to vote for the actual candidates, especially with voting coming up. We'll leave it at that. You guys have a good one. Thank you.